Imagine this. You are standing in the middle of a party. Music is pounding. People are laughing. Conversations are overlapping like static. And you feel more alone than you ever do in your bedroom at AM. Because you hate people. Not because you are broken, but because your brain is drowning in input. It cannot process fast enough. And the loneliness you feel in that moment is not about being unseen. It is about being unable to be seen in the way that matters. This is called the loneliness paradox, and it hits introverts harder than anyone wants to admit. Here's what is actually happening. When you are alone, your mind has space. It breathes, it processes, it builds. You're not fighting for oxygen in a conversation. You are not performing the exhausting theater of being present while your nervous system is screaming for an exit. Solitude is not empty. It is full of your thoughts, your creativity, your ability to exist without translation. You are not lonely because you are connected to yourself. But put that same brain in a crowded room, and everything changes. Suddenly, you are not just existing. You are managing your face, managing your energy, managing the gap between what you feel and what you are supposed to show. And while everyone around you is connecting through volume and surface level banter, you are standing there like a computer trying to run 50 programs at once. Your brain is tracking tone. It is reading micro expressions. It is cataloging who looked away too quickly, who did not laugh at your joke, who seems annoyed. This is not paranoia. This is your wiring. Introverts experience what scientists call a higher neurological load. Your brain is constantly reading between the lines, and that takes energy most people do not even realize they are spending. So while extroverts are recharging off the buzz of the room, you are losing battery percentage in real time. Every unpredictable sound, every unexpected touch, every shift in group dynamics, it all registers as something your system has to assess and respond to. And the kicker? None of this makes you feel more connected. It makes you feel more isolated. Because connection, real connection, requires presence. And you cannot be present when your brain is in survival mode. Now add this layer. Crowds are not built for depth. They are built for volume. Surface level interactions, quick exchanges, the kind of socializing that feels like collecting business cards instead of actually knowing someone. And for introverts, that is the opposite of what connection means. You do not collect friends. You wait for resonance. You wait for someone who sees past the performance and actually wants to know what you think, not just what you say to fill the silence. But in a crowd, there is no room for that. Everyone is talking, no one is listening. And you are standing there realizing that being alone is more honest than being with people who do not see you. This is where the quiet person becomes a ghost in their own life. Not invisible by choice, but invisible by design. Because the way most social spaces are structured, loudness wins, speed wins. The person who talks first, talks most, gets the attention. Meanwhile, you are carefully choosing your words like dated coins. And by the time you are ready to speak, the conversation has already moved on. So you stop trying, you sit back, you observe, and the world mistakes your silence for disinterest when really, you are just tired of spending energy on interactions that leave you emptier than you started. Here is the cruel part. The more you withdraw, the harder it gets to come back. Psychologists call this learned social helplessness. If you have been rejected, talked over, or misunderstood enough times, your brain starts associating reaching out with danger. It stops being about introversion and starts being about protection. You withdraw to stay safe. And the longer you stay withdrawn, the more sensitive your brain becomes to social cues. You start overanalyzing text messages. You assume disinterest where none exists. You read rejection into pauses that are just people being distracted. Your brain is scanning for threats because it has learned that social spaces are where you get hurt. And when you finally do show up to that party, that dinner, that group hangout, you are not just managing the present moment. You are managing years of conditioning that told you your presence is optional. Quiet children learn early that their needs come last. They learn to wait while louder people get attention first. They learn that their voice does not carry the same weight. So by the time they are adults, they have internalized what psychologists call the entitlement of silence. They expect less. They ask for less. They believe, on some level, that taking up space is an imposition. And in a crowd, where everyone else is claiming space without hesitation, that belief becomes unbearable. This is why introverts often feel safer in one-on-one settings. Not because they hate groups, but because one-on-one removes the competition for attention. There is room for presence. There is room for depth. The nervous system can lower its guard because there is no unpredictability, no performance, no constant scanning for social threats. It is just two people actually seeing each other. And that is what connection feels like to an introvert. Not noise, not energy, presence. But when you are alone, there is no performance required. You are not mimicking extroverted scripts to fit in. You are not masking your exhaustion with a smile. You are not pretending that small talk feels meaningful. You are just you. And for the first time all day, that feels like enough. This is why solitude is not loneliness for introverts. Solitude is maintenance. It is the only way the inner battery rebuilds itself. It is lying down, closing your eyes, letting the noise drain out of your system so you feel like a person again instead of a reactor to everyone else. The loneliness you feel in a crowd is not about being alone. It is about being surrounded by people and still feeling unseen. It is about performing connection without actually experiencing it. It is about spending energy you do not have to meet social standards that were never built for you in the first place. And the worst part, people judge you for it. They call you antisocial. They say you are not trying hard enough. They tell you to just put yourself out there, as if the problem is effort and not the fact that the entire social ecosystem is designed for a brain that works nothing like yours. So what do? You stop trying to become someone else. You stop treating introversion like a glitch that needs fixing. You start recognizing that the goal is not transformation. It is translation. You do not need to become an extrovert. You need to learn the skills to turn your rich inner life into something others can access without draining yourself in the process. That might mean saying and processing, "Give me 5 minutes," instead of forcing an immediate response. It might mean choosing solitude when it feels like healing instead of letting it become a prison. It might mean finding the few people who do not make you feel like your quietness is a problem and building your life around them instead of chasing the approval of people who will never understand your wiring. Because here is the truth no one tells you. The loneliness you feel in a crowd is not a you problem. It is a mismatch problem. You are not broken for needing depth in a world obsessed with volume. You are not failing for feeling exhausted by interactions that others find energizing. You are just wired differently, and the sooner you stop apologizing for that, the sooner you realize that being alone is not the enemy. Being with the wrong people is.